Good morning, everybody. It's Kinte, a.k.a. Mr. Klean Kut himself. I was just thinking about the first time I ever got emotional in church. I went down to hear a friend of mine singing a male choir down there on 2nd Street at Word of Salvation. I remember sitting on the back row, get my envelope together, put my tithes and offerings together. I was listening to the choir. They were singing selection after selection. And I remember when they came upon Open the Floodgates of Heaven. And all of a sudden, the Spirit of the Lord just took over me, and I just couldn't stop crying. Like snot bubble tears. The more I tried to stop, the harder I cried. The ushers, they up here worried and stuff because I went through a whole box of tissue and I ain't stopped crying yet. They had to call half of the men's choir up there to come get me and take me down to the altar and pray for me. I remember they laid hands on me. They was up there, they up there laying hands on me, praying so hard. You would have thought they were trying to pray a demon out of me. So, they were praying for me for about a good 10 to 15 minutes. And finally my feelings subside. I get my emotions in check. As I'm walking back to my seat, wiping my face, drying my face off with the tears and everything, I was just laughing. I was like, dang, these jokers didn't even ask me why I was crying. You know what I mean? I understand why they didn't ask me why I was crying, because they didn't want to overstep their boundaries or try to, put themselves off of my business. They were just respecting my privacy. But I was thinking to myself, if they had asked me why I was crying, I probably would have told them that I used to be in that halfway house down the street. And I used to walk by here every Saturday, looking at them big lavish weddings they were throwing and wondering what it was like to look on the inside of that church. If they had asked me why I was crying, I would have told them, after walking by this church for so many years, I'm sitting here a free man, I ain't got to walk up here no more. I'm in that charger by the curb. They say Mr. Klean Kut himself. If they had asked me why I was crying, I probably would have told them I just put $200 in the tithes and offerings, which means I made $2,000 this week. If they had asked me why I was crying, I probably would have told them that the doctor said I'd never have any children. It got so bad that all my family got together. They convinced my niece to name one of her son after me, so I have an heir, so I have me some kind of son or some kind of child in this world. But now I had two beautiful kids of my own. If they had asked me why I was crying, I probably would have told them that when I first moved to Macon, that I had to sleep in the back of my car for 62 days. Because the only relative I had down here was my 4-year-old daughter. I had no friends, no family members, or anybody to turn to. And after 62 days, I had a dream. I had a vision from God to open up this thing called Klean Kut Barbershop. And now we changing the world one head at a time. If they had asked me why I was crying, I probably would have told them that I had just realized at that very moment right there that all things come together for the good of those who love Christ. And that He'll turn all your problems into praise. He'll turn your test into a testimony and your mess into a message. Amen. Amen. The doors of the church are now open. Just playing with y'all. But they're like every single day, like Joel Osteen says, we never like to close our program without giving y'all a chance to join the movement. If y'all have any questions, we're going to be up here at the flea market all day. Next week on August the 10th, we actually open up over there in the plaza with Roses and City Trends. So if you have any questions, you want to make an appointment, if you want to just come through, have some grown folks conversation, chop it up, and just see what the Klean Kut movement's all about, feel free to give us a call at 678-570-2813. That's 678-570-2813. Team KKBS. Join the movement.